Welcome back to Industry Expert Insight presented by CounselNavi, a platform that bridging education with real-world career insights. Today we are truly honored to feature Sonali Shirpurekar, a former Indian Air Force officer and the founder and CEO of Upskill with Sonali. And I am Kolkata alumni with over 17 years of diverse experience across defense, education and leadership. She is an internationally certified trainer, motivational speaker and a true example of purposeful leadership, passionate about empowering youth and women. Sonali ma'am continues to inspire thousands through her session on confidence, discipline, and self-belief. So let's hear it from her. The evaluation of leadership and soft skills over the past decade.
As you asked me about the evolution of leadership, so I've always believed that the core values of leadership remain same. It is something like the basis of mathematics would remain same. Any kind of recipe, the main ingredients would remain same. So similarly for leadership, the core values, that is your goal orientation. It could be influence and motivating people, and leading by example always remains same. So if you see the purpose of leadership in defense forces, that is in Indian Air Force if I talk of, and in corporate varies. So the main idea of defense services is maintenance of forces, maintenance of equipments, and being ready and available for a war. So whether we talk of 1971 India-Pakistan war, where Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw sir was there, and his strategic brilliance you talk about, or his decisiveness and motivating people, his synergy with the political leaders, the use of psychological warfare, the humanitarian factors, everything was so superb that we were able to, of course, combined with all the tri-services and other factors, we were able to win the war. Similarly, if you talk of Operation Sindoor, the same thing has happened. Mainly it's upon trust and command, and the integrity of people, their passion, their motivation towards the motherland, towards our nation, and that drives them. So they may not need an external motivation to work or to do a particular task. But whereas if you talk of today, I would say that one term which has come through the military also is it's called as VUCA world, that is or VUCA D world, which goes by being volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, and D is for dynamic. So we are today in a world of we live in a VUCA world. So the leaders have to be more empathetic and more understanding, and various leadership styles have to be adopted vis-a-vis when it comes to people. So as I'm into training and leadership coaching, the same thing I observe, that when it comes to team management, a lot of factors are there, because people deal with complex problems and have various backgrounds, and the motivation is constantly required. So a leader has to lead by example and be there available for the people, which is very, very crucial. So that's what I would say. So here I would just like to start with a little bit of basics. Like if we try to understand what is EI, what is EQ. So EI is nothing but emotional intelligence, and it is basically the understanding, knowing and labeling your emotions, managing your emotions, as well as understanding emotions of others. And when it comes to EQ, that is emotional quotient, it is a measure, it is a score, or maybe through assessment you can know what is your EQ. So if you see today, the socio-economic skills are very much required, and the best example I think I can give is pandemic. When COVID struck, we all went into isolation, and for a very longer duration, we were not able to meet and socialize. So people actually became hungry for social contact and human contact and connections. So that aspect becomes very very crucial. And when we talk of EI, it encompasses your self regulation, self awareness, then your social skills, your motivation, and social management. So all these aspects, when you see today, it becomes how you actually feel and how you think. So there are two different things about this: how we think and how we feel. So when we are talking of EI, it is more about thinking, processing our thoughts. Generally, people also confuse between feeling and thinking, but it's not like that. If you have to take a decision, you have to first think. What you're thinking and what you're feeling are two different things. For example, I'll tell you. Uh, Say, for example, you are on a diet and I offer you food, then you would feel like eating something. So your heart is taking a decision, oh, okay, fine, for 2 days or one day, if I cheat or if I eat something, that's okay. So it's your taste, but it's your heart is telling you. But if you think logically, or maybe, more from your diet point of view, you will think that, okay, no, I have to control my taste buds and I have to stick to my diet. So when our thinking becomes more prominent, that is where we can control our feelings as well. So that's how it actually goes.
Preparing students for the future, emotional intelligence, adaptability, and leadership.
And now that I already spoke about what is EI and adaptability, being adaptable to the environment, this brings out a very very important aspect of NEP 2020. So what the National Education Policy has now brought out is that it advocates actually the education has to be multidisciplinary and it has to integrate soft skills. So when we talk of soft skills, it's more of all your leadership qualities, it's communication skills, decision making, problem solving, and how that needs to be integrated is, how that can be done is through multidisciplinary projects, through a holistic curriculum which involves experiential learning, which involves counseling, which involves more of real world examples. The teachers needs to be 360-degree. They should have 360-degree assessments, preparation, feedbacks. They should also be more. They should also foster growth attitude. So as I'm also in the same field, I can very well say that when I am going out in the colleges or schools, I harp more upon teaching through activities or various case studies or examples. It's no more like lecture based and just you can say giving them the content, because then what happens is the self awareness part doesn't come when you make them realize what did you feel, what did you think. I'll give you a very very simple example. Like recently I conducted one activity in an event management college. So it was a very simple activity. The students stand in two lines and one paper cups are placed in the center. So they are standing in partners. Now when I tell them, when I say head, shoulder, stomach, knee, toes, they have to put their hands at the respective body parts. And when I say cup, they lift the cup. So either one of the partners is going to lift the cup and win. Now when I analyzed this particular activity, a lot of learnings came out. When I asked them what did you learn, so it is not only about communication, listening, or focus, it's concentration, flexibility. It's not only about that. It also brought out understanding the opponents or your competitor strategies while playing that game. How were they thinking? What was going on in their mind? How were they able to lift the cup? When I said cup, everyone heard that, right? Ideally, both of them should actually lift lift that particular item, but only one person is able to do so. Why? So being aware of the latest trend in the market, being aware of your competitors, being aware of latest technology, and all this thinking or all this why, how, when, there is also a process known as ORID in our facilitation, which actually is a process which is done after the activity is done. So it's more of self-reflection and what was their experience like, the entire experience. Now, when the students go through this, they will be able to think more deep dive into the problems and find solution themselves rather than giving them a ready-made solution. So that I think will bring in a lot of change. And also, as the government has already taken initiative, as and when it gets implemented, or I would say it's rather in process, it is going to be very effective and very useful. So I believe subsequently, just not by only having these sessions as 1 hour or 2 hour or as part of guest lectures, once it becomes a part of the subject, then they will be more accustomed to it, is what I feel.
Message for student and parents.
As an upskill with Sonali, I always say that elevate, empower and envision. So I feel that see, for parents, even in today's world, as our society is, or the outside job market is, marks definitely matter. There is no doubt about it. However, I think the most crucial part or the most important part is being present rather than just offering presents, that is gifts. I mean, you have to be present physically and mentally. Talk, communicate, ask to your child what they want. Create a safe space for your children. Nowadays, with social media and as we know, after COVID, many small children have become very addicted or used to mobile phones. And this digitization, as we say, or technology, has its pros and cons. So similar, it will have those effects. We cannot take it away from that, but I think the effort should definitely be made to normalize it and to be with them, because I strongly believe there is no compensation for a human connection or human talk. So the gadgets or the AI or whatever apps and whatever facilities you give to your child could be world class, but are you available there? So being there for them, celebrating their small wins and understanding their perspective. I would like to stress one particular point over here. Like last year there was a survey towards the end of the year and starting of this year. It is by the annual student quest. 85% of students opted for AI counselors rather than traditional counselors. So almost 40% of even Indian students, they are not aware of counseling or any such thing. And people who are in dilemma, like they are very good in biology but their love for English is a lot, how do they decide? Do you think like always the data or the technology is going to give answers? Sometimes it may, sometimes it may not. But again, when we integrate the emotional intelligence part, the empathy part, the adaptability part, everything is human connection. So if parents are more aware of what is happening around them, the small body language of children, if they are uncomfortable, if their habits have changed, then it needs to be seen, it needs to be picked. And only I think by practicing and by implementing this at home and teachers in school, this can be done, is what I strongly believe, because these students are very at times sensitive and they depend a lot on their friends, and and that could be at times risky because half knowledge is dangerous. So I think creating that safe space for the child is very important.
The importance of early career guidance and the role of CounselNavi.
I mentioned it also encourages that the age group of 12 to 14 is ideal for starting the career discussions for students. But again, I feel with evolving things and changes and technology and access to many other things, career is a very important and tricky part, because generally we used to see that since childhood some child would say a kid would say I want to become a pilot or an engineer, and by the time they reach grade 12 they may or may not stick to their decision. So this dilemma of choosing a career is always there. They may accept or they may not accept. If somebody has immense clarity, then it is a different situation. But most of the students would like to at least know what is there. And when you talk of CounselNavi, I think since I am already associated closely with CounselNavi, they are doing a brilliant job and they have brought out a wonderful platform where literally you have a array of counselors lined up over there who have decades of experience, and this is something which is I would say very very powerful and very very prestigious, very very important for the student. If they want to choose a counselor, they can go on this platform, log in, and do the whatever is the process, and they can speak to any of the counselors. Similarly, CounselNavi is also bringing in industry experts, which is again a very innovative and new thing in the market, because if tomorrow I want to go into a particular sector, then okay, I know that I want to become a doctor, I want to become an engineer, but what after 4-5 years? Do I really get a job? Do I really am I really able to earn when it boils down to money? So these industry experts can share their struggles, their experiences, their growth in that particular field, which will definitely I think benefit the students. So the difference I also feel is that while the schools and colleges do bring in guest lectures and people from various industries, you are getting entire bouquet at one place, which is going to be something magnificent, I believe. So that's very very unique again, and students should take advantage of this. And again, parents first have to understand when they negate this counseling part, or they don't give so much of importance that we know everything or we decide for you. It is not like that, because the student's psychology, and again when I said of creating a safe space, this all comes into picture here. So understanding the child's psychology and giving them that space and taking them to a career counselor will always help positively, because they can understand and they can know that what field they are good at. So it saves a lot of time, it saves money, it saves I think mental botheration as well, which is above everything. So I would definitely not because I know I've been associated with CounselNavi. In fact, that's all the more reason, because I know the platform and I've been there, seen the progress. I strongly believe that it's something worth to be, you should explore. And I would insist and request all the students who are on the verge of taking their decisions, they should explore this platform.